Hey everybody, it's Strict9 with Strict9 GP, and I'm back with another episode of my Draft Day Sports College Basketball 2020 playthrough. Our season's done. Austin Peay Governors, we came up short in the OVC tournament last episode, had that very disappointing loss against Eastern Illinois, up by 19 in the first half and couldn't close it out. So, not a great way to end the season, but we did meet the goal of 15 wins for what it's worth. We did not meet the goal of winning a conference tournament or qualifying for the NIT tournament this year, but that's okay. I hope anyway. I think that's still going to give us our job security of 100%. We got a 2 years remaining on our contract. I'm hoping that'll, if not, I hope we don't get fired anyway. Depends on what's going to happen next year. And I mentioned in the comments of one of my videos anyway, I think my plan is to give Austin Peay one more year and then start looking at a job at a better conference. It'll probably be, I know one of my viewers asked if I would ever take over a job like at Duke or a team like that. I don't really see that happening because unless you just apply for the job and get it, whichever job you want, it seems like it would be hard to get those kind of jobs, but I might be wrong. We'll see if something like that comes available. I might try it, but that'll probably be at least one more year away. What I wanted to do this year, or for this episode though, is just go through the tournament, the Final Four tournament, and then get started on the off-season stuff. We've still got one recruit out there who hasn't committed to us. We got a verbal from Travis Hart, a center, who I'm hoping gives us some depth at that position. He's rated pretty well defensively and inside shooting, so and even athleticism. So I'm hoping that if he's manages to sign with us, maybe he'll have kind of like McKinnis, have a big boost in ratings when he joins the team. And then got a power forward, which we do need depth going into next year at power forward. This guy, his points per game have come down as the season's gone on for him, but he's a good rebounder, pretty good passer and shooter inside and outside. So I'm hoping that we get to sign him. Still haven't really nailed down this recruiting. It's the hardest part of the game, I think, by far. Even though I'm not a huge basketball nerd or don't have a whole lot of knowledge of like setting plays and running a team on the floor and that kind of thing, but I still think the way this interface is run on your depth charts and strategy and things like that, I think you can figure that out. But the recruiting, man, it's really hard to figure out. And I just noticed that this is a point guard who's 3 stars, really good ratings on him. Says he's warm for us, but he's really just 6th in his top 10 schools for us anyway. And I've reached out to this guy before, and he's really, his big thing was playing close to home. So I don't know why he would be listed as warm. This guy's from Florida. I don't think we'd have a chance. I'm not going to really waste any budget on that. Let's go ahead and get to the tournament. I think I finally figured out how to get to this the matchup, some grid. So hopefully I won't have that problem again. But let's go ahead and we'll get the play-in games out of the way first. I don't know who's going to be playing in, but we'll see once we advance. So let's go one more day because we got one here in the, what region is this? The Washington, D.C. region. So a few more teams to play to get the final bracket in place. Detroit Mercy, wow. I haven't heard of that team. Okay, so this is how it's going to go. In the Washington, D.C. region, we're going to have Kentucky, top seed, Duke in there at 5, Florida at 4. Some old teams like Georgetown, Stetson. Haven't seen those too much, I don't think, in real life lately. Uh, Louisville, number 2 seed. Troy in here. Gonzaga, 3 seed. In that Chicago region, we got Arizona, the top seed. Virginia's in there. Tennessee, a 4 seed. They've done really well in the 2 seasons I've played them. Although we knocked them off. Austin Peay did in the opening round last year in the Final Four tournament. Kansas pretty low here at a 6 seed. Got Marquette high at a 3 seed. Eastern Illinois coming from the OVC. They're going to play 2 seed North Carolina. That's going to be a tough matchup. And then Dallas region, we got Iowa number 1. They won the tournament last year in this playthrough. We got Connecticut in there at 4, Michigan at 5, Wisconsin at 2, Indiana at 7, Maryland 3, and then finally Albuquerque region, Cincinnati, who we lost to early in the season. They've been ranked 1 and 2 pretty much the whole season. They're the top seed. West Virginia, kind of a surprise. They're a 4 seed. And then we got Memphis in there, Pittsburgh, and then Arkansas, a 2 seed. They were good last season. It looks like they might even be better this season. So it's from the SEC, you got Kentucky, a 1 seed, Florida, 4 seed. And I say SEC because that's the region I'm in. So I always kind of keep up with what's coming out of the SEC. So we got Tennessee, so that's 3. Auburn in there, 4. And then Dallas region, we got... I don't see any SEC teams in that region. And then we got, of course, Arkansas. So what is that? 5 teams from the Missouri, 6 teams from the SEC. And I think Georgia was one of the teams, if I'm not mistaken, that did the play-in game. So let's go ahead and get it started, see what the brackets are going to open up looking like. And this is probably going to be the NIT. Is that right? All right, so... And I could look at that, too. Who's in the NIT? We got Brigham Young, top seed. Tulsa, Buffalo, Lehigh. Looks like Brigham Young and... maybe an upset there. Buffalo was 2nd seed. They lost. Is there another tournament here? All right, so that's just end of that's conference tournaments there. So let's go ahead. This I think this is going to be the top. Yeah, the first games of the tournament. See what kind of upsets we can get. So first round, Kentucky easily over Stetson. Georgetown, a close one over Purdue. Duke out. Indiana State, 15-point win there. Florida in easy. Louisville, Wake Forest, Villanova, Gonzaga. Those were all as expected. In the Chicago region, Arizona blew past Southern Utah. Virginia, a big win over Arizona State. No upsets so far in that region. Eastern Illinois went down hard in North Carolina. Auburn beat Davidson. That's kind of an upset. Kansas, big over Syracuse. Marquette, they're out as a 3 seed to William & Mary. And I don't know if the Dallas region has played yet. So that'll be the next... what is this? For Friday, we'll probably see more games in those other 2 regions. So we got... Dallas, we got Iowa easy over Appalachian State. Illinois, close one over Washington. Richmond, upset over Michigan. Connecticut, big win. Creighton beat Indiana. That was kind of an upset. 10 over 7. No other upsets, though, in that bracket. And then in Albuquerque, Cincinnati, pretty decent win over Wagner. Missouri out. They lost by 2 to Oklahoma. West Virginia, everybody, well, Oregon, another 10-7 upset there. Kansas City, man, where are they coming from? I'm not even familiar with that college, but they beat Memphis. And then Hampton over Pittsburgh, that's a big upset, 14 over 3. So now we're going to get to the second round games, and this will get the Sweet 16 out of the way. Tennessee's in. They had a big win over San Diego State. And that's kind of an upset, I would think, because San Diego State, 9th ranked in the country. So we got Cincinnati, Let's see. No, that's from the. Okay, here's where we go. So in the Washington D.C. region, Kentucky beat Georgetown, so they're going to the Sweet 16. Florida over Indiana State. They had a pretty easy go of it, really. Jackson State, and then Indiana State. Not too big of a test for them. And then Louisville over Wake Forest, Villanova over Gonzaga. So Gonzaga's out. So we got 1, 2, 4, 6 seeds from that region. And then Chicago, we got Arizona winning pretty close, 99-95 over Virginia. Tennessee and big win over San Diego State. Kansas over William and Mary. They also had a pretty easy run of it. And then Auburn loses to North Carolina. So you got a 1, 2, 4, 6 in both those regions. Now we go to the Dallas region. And from rounding out the Sweet 16, Iowa big upset. So they're not going to repeat as champions. Illinois beats them 73-69. Connecticut easy over Richmond. Wisconsin over Creighton, however you say that. And then Maryland beats Wichita State. So you got pretty much a Cinderella type conference here. 8th seed Illinois is the lowest seed in the Sweet 16, unless there's somebody. No, there is. There's a Cinderella team. So we got Cincinnati easily over Oklahoma State or Oklahoma. Michigan State in. Arkansas, close one against Oregon, 74-72. But here's the big upset. Hampton over Kansas City. I mean, I guess it's an upset. I'm not familiar with that conference, but or what conference they're coming out of. But Hampton, a 14 seed, going to make the Sweet 16. So that's for sure the biggest upset we got going. Now let's see if the NIT is coming close. Okay. So you got Brigham Young in the final against St. Bonaventure. Are there any more? There's an invitational. I don't know when that one happens. I mean, those look like preseason tournaments, I believe. So, yeah, so that's it, I guess. So the NIT about to be decided. But I don't know where these games are happening. Washington State and Detroit Mercy. Where are those games coming from? I'd like to see. So we got, there it is. Belmont managed to make this one. And they're still playing. So what is this? I guess it's maybe a college basketball invitational. Santa Clara in there, but Belmont still going strong. They're going to be, looks like they're going to be in the final in that tournament. NIT went to Wyoming. Is that right? No, is this? Sorry, that didn't seem right, because I was looking at Brigham Young earlier. Where were they? Not sure if this is from last year or what, but let's just go back to the Final Four tournament. So there's teams still playing. It's kind of bugging me. Where are these teams playing? I wish I knew. So I mean, there must be some tournament going on out there that I'm not aware of. Is it? I mean, most of them. No, that's a conference tournament. So if you guys know in the comments, maybe let me know, because I would have thought most of these are like preseason or regular season tournaments going on there. But now we're back to the Final Four tournament. So we got and the Washington D.C. 1 and 2 pretty easily here, really. Kentucky over Florida, Louisville over Villanova. In the Chicago region, you got Tennessee surprising Arizona big time, 77-50. So they're going to make the Elite Eight. Kansas, pretty decent upset over Carolina. So you got 4 and 6 from this region, 1 and 2 from that one. And then in the Dallas region, this is going to look a little different. I mean, Arkansas is going to be in. That's pretty easy for them, I think, because they were the ones against Hampton. But you got Illinois, Maryland. Close one, though. Illinois 2 points over Connecticut. So Maryland knocks out the highest seed really left in this conference or in this region. And then Albuquerque, you're going to have Cincinnati and Arkansas. That should be a great matchup. 1 and 2 from that region. They both pretty much, except for Arkansas over Oregon, they both kind of had a decent run through there. So Elite Eight is looking pretty good. Looks like Kansas beat Tennessee, so they're going to be the first teams in the Final Four. Tennessee did a much better job this season than they did last season in the tournament. So we got from the D.C. region, Kentucky over Louisville. So it's going to be Kentucky in the Final Four. Tennessee, good run for them. It's going to be Kansas. So a 1 seed, a 6 seed. And now let's get to this next two regions. Big upset here. So out of the Dallas region, Maryland, 3 seed. They were probably not too big of a surprise in some ways. They had that big win against Wisconsin. But this is a big one here. Arkansas knocks off Cincinnati. So it's going to be 2 teams from the SEC in that Final Four. Pretty impressive. And so we're going to have to sim ahead here. Again, I wish I knew where these games were coming from. I mean, I don't think I can see top-ranked games. I mean, and the NIT... Okay, the NIT is still going on. So this must be what I was looking at earlier. So you got Alabama, Kansas State. And then this tournament, Kent State, Belmont in the final. And Belmont wins. So they're going to win that tournament. The College Basketball Invitational, good job for them. And is NIT, they're still working on their finals here. And now looks like Arkansas is going to be in the championship. And I'm curious because I didn't see that first game flip by. I'm wondering if it'll be an all SEC final. That would be interesting if it is. It's not. Kansas, 91-87. So this is going to be a good matchup here. Arkansas against Kansas. I think Kansas, dominating performance from Arkansas, but I think Kansas may have been in the title game or got pretty far last season. But look at that. Arkansas wins the national title easily. 31 points, man. They just mowed them down. And they really beat Maryland in the Final Four by 18. So they were really ready to play. And that's going to do it for the season. We got a couple things here to look at. Ike King, and he has chosen our school. So we're going to have some award winners to look at. But let's look if that changes his. No, I mean his position ranks pretty low. I'm not gonna lie. This is not something to be too happy with in terms of the man. He was even. This guy was a little bit better rated, and he was. I'm not sure why I didn't go with him. I think mainly it was his size. I wanted someone a little bit bigger at power forward. Ike King. 6'6", 226. Maybe that'll make a difference. I'm not sure, but It is what it is, as the saying goes. I'm hoping next year we'll get better at recruiting. But now let's go ahead and advance to the awards for the league, and I guess it'll be probably for the NCAA as well. You'll probably see the award winners for whatever the top players are. So let's just go ahead and entire association. Let's see who's going to get the big awards here. So the Norton Award goes to Keith McCarter, guard of North Carolina. I guess that's pretty much the most, the best player. Man, is that possible that he is rated that way? Look at his stats. Man, that doesn't make sense unless how about this guy? Yeah, something's going on. Maybe I don't have a scout for these. I don't know, but Final Four most outstanding player is going to be DJ Stewart from Arkansas. He's their shooting guard. And then player of the year for, I'm not sure what the WS stands for, but that's McCarter again. He was the defensive player of the year, the freshman of the year, coach of the year, Derek Meeks from Arizona. They finished 35-2, I think, but just had that big early loss in the award in the Final Four. Now for the OVC, yeah, we got some. I thought we would have a little bit more votes here, but Alexander Reed, he was a player of the year. I don't know if he wound up outscoring McInnes or not, but that's going to be close. 15.9 points a game. He looks like a pretty good all-around player. From Southeast Missouri State, he's a center as well. I remember playing up against him. He was a pretty tough guy to go up against. Defensive player of the year, Adonis Stevenson, led in rebounds, maybe even blocks, I guess, or had a good year anyway. Freshman of the year, Marlon Kelly. That's crazy. Why is McInnes not getting any votes on that? And then Dan Childs, coach of the year. Probably no surprise there from Belmont. So we're going to the off season now. I may do a lot of this offline, but at least wanted to get started. I'm really thinking about right off the bat, seeing what I can do in terms of those assistant coaches. Can I attract a little bit better rated coach to the team? I'm not sure if that's possible, but that's what I'd like to try, because I think we're hurting because of that. I think player development's a little off because of it, and we just need to pick up the pace there. And one thing I noticed from last year, these rating progressions, we won't see that until we get into officially to the next year, because we've got, for instance, we've got William Cromer, Bo Fryman, Markle Tucker. You can just see it hasn't advanced to the next season. And let me look at McInnes again. Man, he had more points. Why was he not the freshman of the year at least? That's crazy. And relationship's still off with him and the coach. So that's going to be a tough one. He did make the all-conference team for what it's worth. So now we're looking at the coach hiring. So we got coaching jobs available and season review. We didn't qualify for the NIT tournament. We didn't win the conference tournament, but we did succeed in winning 15-plus games. We went down in prestige, which, that's got to stand to reason, because we had such a great first season, making the tournament, winning that first game in the tournament, that was going to be hard to sustain anyway. But man, that was not what I wanted to see. So let's go to job hiring. I know I'm not going to go to another school, but let's just see what head coaching jobs are available out there. So we got Dayton and the Atlantic 10. That would be a pretty good move for us, I think. Georgia Tech in the ACC would be a good move. And I think that's kind of like what I would be going for as a team that probably haven't seen up there at the top of the rankings or the standings for some of these conferences. Maybe they're in a rebuild mode, but it's a huge, conference. If you get a team, Georgia Tech, into, winning the conference tournament, regular season or otherwise, and getting them to a tournament, Final Four tournament here and there, I mean, that would be a good goal to meet. Got Miami also wanting a head coach, South Carolina in the SEC. That would be, again, a good challenge, I think. But for now, one more season at Austin Peay. And I'm hoping, though, that if I have a decent year, that maybe I can move into a conference like that, Big 12 to Texas Tech in the Big 12. That would be nice. But I am going to skip this round. Still a couple teams out there, and I guess you can just advance as far as that goes. So let me go back to moving ahead in the off season. So this time, this is where we're going to look to hire our assistant coaches. And we've got the letter of intent from Travis Hart and Ike King. Man, I really hope their ratings go up as we move in the next season. I mean, Travis Hart looked pretty decent as well. He had a good senior year in high school, looks like. So now we're going to be at staff hiring. So I don't see, he's been with us for a while. I don't see his ratings going anywhere, really. I mean, there's 2 and 2 is pretty much the highest. I mean, I might keep this guy because he's been, they've got 1 year remaining, but this guy, third assistant coach, he could be somebody I want to move out. But let's go to the hiring and see what kind of stuff we'll get. So, I mean, let me just see what a first assistant, what's out there. I mean, a guy like this guy, for instance, very high for his young players, but his coach history, he was a head coach at St. Joseph, so didn't do too well. He's just 39 years old, but he's got some gray hairs there, it looks like. He's got decent scouting and player development, but 42 and 35 combined. You look at what we have. Where's my staff here? So for instance, Andy Anderson, he's got 33 and 31, so he's not too far off on development, scouting, recruiting, 30 in the 30s. Yeah, I mean, they're all kind of tapped out at the 30s. This guy's really bad, but he's only been there 1 year. So let's go back to the staff hiring here. Now, if I did a third assistant, what would I get? probably wouldn't be able to get some of these guys. He was a head coach at Utah. Definitely, probably. I don't even think there's a point in doing that. Drew Randolph, head coach at San Francisco. Oh. Man. I mean, this guy, 4 short bench. That's not something that really. Now, this guy, would he take the job? He's got good scouting, good player development, good defensive skills. I know he's been a head coach at Milwaukee. He's below average, but he would be for sure a man. I mean, how do I do this? Assistant salary is $96,000. Am I gonna have to fire that guy? Is that what's gonna have to happen? Let me see if that's what's gonna be. Or can I not do that? Let me see here. If I go to assign coaches, man, this guy, I would like to get rid of him. I mean, how do you fire him? Okay, I'm not seeing it there. I may have to work on this offline because I thought you would be able to. Let me just see if there's a third assistant here that I can. Replace him with, and honestly, I don't really see much better. Now, if I go to second assistant, and let's see if I can filter it by player development, recruiting, and scouting. I mean, if I look at my staff at the moment, the way I've assigned the coaches, so I've got, he's on recruiting, and he's rated at 33. And he is in practice, and his development's 31. And then Dawson at scouting, it's 27. So if I could just find a third assistant that was a little bit better at scouting, like this guy. I mean, I would like to offer him the job, but how do you do it? I think that's not how you do it. But let's go back to this again. So I'm wanting a better scout, basically. Kenneth Smith. Why can I not offer him? Well, once again, I'm not sure how to do this. So it's probably because I had the scout there, maybe. Let me try one more thing to try to do it from here. View coaches for hire. Wait a minute. Hold on just a second. There we go. I'm going to fire him. Okay, so now that makes sense. So let's go ahead and see if we can find a third assistant that's going to be better in scouting and willing to go to our team. I mean, I would like to offer this guy I mean, what are my salaries? I mean, this is still trying to figure this out. 42. Yeast. I may have screwed up by doing that. So, can I do 42? See if he would take it. And just do like a 2-year contract. Oh. Where was he at? So third assistant and see what this gives us. My guess is he's not going to do this. Man. Okay, so I don't get any indication that he's either okay with that or not. So let me run the vids again. Apparently he's not, but he's not giving me any indication. Now this guy is unemployed. His scouting's a little bit better than the last guy, so maybe I should make an offer to him just to see if he would take it. So let's say Kenneth Smith, third assistant, let's say 38. Or 37. 2 years, make offer, and let's see if this happens. And he took it. All right, so I guess I can move on in advance now because I didn't get to get this guy. But I got an upgrade. I'm pretty sure he is an upgrade over what I had. One of the things though I don't like, and I'll go back there and show it. I don't know how to. Yeah, so his scouting ability is a 2, so that's already better. I wonder if that changes how these guys are scouted right off the bat. I see Jepson up there. Yeah, I see McInnes scouted a lot lower. So that does make a difference. By this guy's scouting, Jensen is a better player than McInnes. And McInnes, of course, had that great season. That's why I wish I had a good program. I could probably attract those because we don't have the budget for it, but it would really make a big difference seeing the true scouting. Man, that makes a difference. Just that one tick. All right, so I mean, it makes me wonder if I should even do these guys as well to see if I can get somebody who's a better recruiter. And the same thing here. I just wish you could edit their suits. I don't know how to do that. But I guess that's something. If you know, you can let me know in the comments. But I'll leave it here for now. I'm gonna tinker with this a little bit. Might see if I can get a better assistant coach while I'm still here in the staff hiring. That would help a lot, I think, if we could do that. At least get a little bit better scout in there. That's already changing things up quite a bit that I don't really want it to be changed up to. By this guy's scouting, we've only got one decent player on the team. Oh my gosh, that's terrible. But anyway, as always, thanks for watching. Appreciate the support and hope you stay with me for one more season anyway with this team. And I'll see you next episode.